Good morning, people. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Today is Saturday morning, and the time is now 7:25, August 22nd, 2020. And yes, I'm just relaxing here in my room, and my mind is really thinking back on different things these days. And yet in the background you hear my little doggies. They're still relaxing. So I apologize for the sound. Let me, I don't know where to begin, but I'm really evaluating again about my life on YouTube. People are really starting to speak out these days. A YouTuber that I watch on and off, I really respect his channel, and he announced that he doesn't want to put up any content anymore. And he realizes that, he's been around for a long time on YouTube, and he gives information, valuable information, I think. And he made mention that he gets the same people comment, who write to him, and they say, we love your work and everything, but they have the same problems. And he was getting frustrated that people do watch his videos. He's popular, but people come back, and despite that they love his work, they have the same problems. And he found that he was getting frustrated that he wasn't able to help them. I mean, he's not a psychologist or anything like that. He's just a regular person. And he said that he has to, he wants to pull back. He doesn't want to put up any content for now. But if something he feels moved to do, he'll upload something then. But he said he says that he needs to help himself before he could help others. And he has a point. So he's a good YouTuber, but he's stepping back and he's evaluating his time on the internet. And I'm also thinking the same thing about my channel, Spirit Journey channel. Sometimes it's like the last straw, or something really brings to your awareness, and you really start to evaluate. And I had addressed the issue months ago. I think like this last December or January even. I did address the issue. But it's like a lot of little things happening at once. Like my ability to do certain types of videos. Even though I had my computer, I had to bring my Mac to get repaired. Well, all of a sudden my camera and the audio won't work for me to do if I'm to do live streaming. Doesn't work, and I have the current operating system on Catalina on my Mac, And I looked on YouTube to try to find out how to resolve the problem using OBS and to have your camera and the audio working, and it's not really, it's not happening. And I think I'm taking this as like a sign, like all of a sudden all these things. And again, my format has changed doing my videos because I was getting severe neck ache sitting at my workstation. The position that my neck goes on, gets into when I'm doing video editing. It was extremely painful. And so that's why I backed away with doing the formal editing, things like that. And I started doing the live streams. And then I stopped, and then I started doing, as you see, like I go outside and I'm walking to the park or something. I have my dogs. I've been doing that a lot because, I just do the video and then I just upload it. And that's all. And it's been preserving my neck. And that's basically, I like things spontaneous and just upload it. Because I have to keep my neck, But I see things are changing now. And with this COVID, I think it's shaking everybody up on all different angles, man. And I live right in New York City, and I see how it's changing people. Yeah, I even bought a body cam, like what the police officers have. I bought one of those maybe 2 weeks ago. But I'm having problems with it. Like when I'm use the USB port and connect it to my Mac, it seemed to crash it. And then when it does that, it's no longer able to communicate with the camcorder. And for me to get access to it, I have to reformat it. But to reformat means I have to delete all the content on that device. I said, oh wow. And I even have another device, an action cam, a Sony action cam. I can't use that either because I think software. And I went on Sony's website, and they don't have the version. Like, let's say mine is theirs is 12.13. Well, mine is 12.16. And I tend to try to upload it, and it didn't happen. So it's interesting how my devices, I have very good devices, cameras, computer, action cams and camcorders. But all of a sudden, all of them are having problems. And they're not old, they're maybe 2 years old, some of my devices. And how technology, at least with the Mac, is changing so much, and the software is changing so much. And I had to upload the new operating system, maybe it was 2 months ago. But now, and then again, I haven't been using the computer to upload, doing the live stream. And so I didn't know that there's an incompatibility issue now. So you see how the universe and everything in your circle, how it affects everything else. So my devices are incompatible. Camcorder that just got, it's not compatible with the Mac. Brand new, the body cam. And I got the body cam because that I had gotten groped a couple of months ago, and I did the video on that, and I had showed I took a photo of him, of the guy, and then I had a Karen incident, and then a second Karen incident, and that was the one I was trying to upload for the past week. Yeah, the incident happened on the 14th, so a week ago yesterday. And I've been for a week trying to upload, everything was going well, and then boom, there was a problem on my computer. It crashed, and etc. So it's just really the timing of everything. That could make anyone feel frustrated, of course, like all of these things happen at once. And how time changes things. Well, just yesterday, it was yesterday evening, I came across a YouTuber who had uploaded a video of somebody else's, and it was on the Secret Space program, and two black fellows, and it was an interview that those two fellows did with, get this, excuse me, Tony Rodrigues, the person that I interviewed a little over 2 years ago. I did an interview with Tony in February of 2018. And I decided to, I was new with the genre. I heard about it for the first time, I think, in 2016, with that fellow who passed away, I forget his name, but he's the one that died mysteriously, and this black substance started coming out of his body. Max Spears, that's right, Max Spears. I think he was the first one that I heard about. And I decided in 2018 to reach out to Tony and another YouTuber, another experiencer, but Tony was the only one. Tony accepted, and the other person never got back to me. I did have maybe 2 communications with her, and then she, responded twice, and I didn't want to press the issue. I just dropped it. It's up to them whether they want to do it or not. Their last words was, "Well, I'll think about it," and I haven't heard from her since. But that's okay. I could at least respect that, because she doesn't know who I am, really, and I'm upfront with people. Everything about my channel is about being upfront, being genuine, being yourself, and sharing about yourself to others, and it's up to them whether they want to respond. So I did see yesterday this black YouTubers had done an interview with them, and I think it kind of had me think. See, I was to do a second interview with them, and to make a long story short, how I feel. Now, I did videos about it, but not. I didn't use his name. But initially, when the conflict that arose between me and Tony, I wanted to be discreet. I was initially embarrassed because I realized that I felt I was being snubbed, and I became hurt, and now I'm feeling my anger. Now, I'm a big girl. If someone doesn't want to do an interview, but it's why, and that's what I want to address. It's really about what is really going on and people's motive. Now, I talked to Tony Rodrigues initially. He's pleasant to talk to, very pleasant, and our interview went on for almost 4 hours. He seemed okay, and I know I spoke to him after the interview, and everything's okay. Basically, he told me then that the interviews he doesn't go and sit and watch them. He just does the interview, and he's done live audiences. Did a presentation in front of a live audience. And it's really weird. Like, I think I reached out to Tony because he was the only one out of all the SSP people that used the term slavery. I am a black YouTuber, a black American, and for a Caucasian to use that terminology, a white Caucasian male to use the term slavery is something very new and very bold. And he's of Portuguese ancestry, and I'm part Portuguese also on my father's side of the family. And his eyes are similar to my relatives, some of my relatives. And so I felt connected to him and safe to approach him because of that connection, and that he, being a Caucasian male, to use the term slavery. So I felt that he was humble, and that's why I approached him. And I also approached this other woman because I thought she was humble also. But surprisingly, she didn't follow up on me, but Tony did. And he was gracious enough to have me interview him and for his time. So I thank him for that. I know I'm kind of a little all over the place. But I think seeing the two people interview him, two black YouTubers interview him, made me feel like, I guess, left out. And I'm honest with people. And I was actually approached by a fellow YouTuber. So they had commented on one of my videos, and that person was the person that encouraged me. They said, hey, when are you going to do a second interview with Tony? And it was only then that I decided, hey, do a second interview, because it was almost the 2-year marker since that initial interview took place. And we did initially try to set up an interview like a month after the interview was done, but it was the timing and everything, and I just didn't follow up on it, and he didn't follow up on it. So I would say it was a mutual thing. I reached out to Tony again, and he agreed to it. We did speak the day of the interview, just to make sure our equipment was working, and just because it's almost 2 years since, and a lot goes on in 2 years, and just to talk basis before you go on live. It was to be the same setup. At least I set up everything identical to the initial setup from 2 years prior. And it was a pleasant interview, and basically it was going to be just what was new. I felt in my heart that I just wanted to I didn't want to really go that deep, and just really talk about how the interview I did with him, since the interview I did with him, how his life has changed, and just leave it like that. What happened in his life since that time, and that's basically it. So it was going to be maybe for an hour and a half interview, and that's it. And I really just closed the door on the topic of the SSP, Secret Space Program and Super Soldier Program. For me, because I watched a lot of content about it, and I really can't get anything more about the genre. It's all like going around in circles. So, but I think it's because that YouTuber encouraged me. Is, hey, when you're going to get a second one? And they were really nice about it. I said, for closure, I said to myself, yeah, I'll do a final and then just move on. I did get to talk to him. And this is the key thing about what happened. Now, I talked to him what happened in my life since the interview. And he said what he said about himself. And we were about to, we did like, what do you call it, like a video conferencing type of thing. You can see each other, but it's by the computer. And we only spoke for maybe 20 minutes, and he had an errand to do. And I told him, like, I was very happily excited, and I did say, close to the end of the conversation, I said, wow, you were my first interview, and blah, blah, blah. And when I said that, the first interview, him being my first interview, he responded very irritated. What? And I paused. That's what happened, I'm thinking. But he didn't address the issue, and I was wondering what happened. He didn't say anything. He didn't add anything, and I just shrugged it off. Okay, I'm not sure what had just happened there, but he sounded upset. And he had to leave, and a couple of hours later, we would have our interview at 6 p.m., and it was maybe 20 after 5. He leaves a message, messaging through Facebook. And I had just come back from outside. I had to walk my dogs. And so it might have been maybe now close to 10 to 6. Or maybe it was 20 to 6. And I'm reading his message that he pulls out. He said that something came up and he can't do it. So I said, okay, we could always reschedule for another time, or even another day, whatever was convenient to him. And I always left everything open. I wanted for at least this was, in my heart, I thought this was to be our last interview. I wasn't going to address the issue anymore, the super soldiers. So whatever was convenient for him, the time of day, everything was something that he decided on. It wasn't something that I said, okay, we can have it for this time and that time. I said, Tony, whatever was convenient for you, whatever what time, what day, you decide. So if you knew he had all this thing for that day, and I'm not going to say what the business was, because that's his business, and I want to respect him for that, and he was to have 2 interviews that day. So I told her, whatever, keep me posted. But I knew in my heart that he was pulling out, because I had said he was my first interview that time that I did with him from 2 years ago. And that upset him. And I didn't understand why that would upset him. But it colored a lot of what this is all about. What this whole genre may be really about. I felt it was about ego, and that I'm given the benefit of the doubt. I have the longest interview of just him on the internet, close to 4 hours. I had one of the largest content. I had over 1,000 uploads of my personal work. Longevity on my channel. That was in comparison to the people that he decided to do the interview with. Now, the day that our interview was to be done, last November, November of 2019, he told me that he had 2 interviews. I assume mine and the other person. Then surprisingly, I think it was the same YouTuber who asked me to do a second interview with Tony, contacts me again. Because now that the interview was canceled at the last minute, so I remember that 10 to 6 p.m., I did a brief live stream to announce to my subscribers and viewers that it was canceled and that we need to reschedule. And I just talked a little bit. I talked for about 10 minutes, and that was it. And Tony had said, "Oh, I saw that you said that you had to cancel it." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you pulled out at the last minute, and I have to let my viewers know. See, I'm a type of YouTuber that I like to be upfront with people, and if something is canceled, you let people know. It's being courtesy. It's being respectful. I didn't get that respect back, I felt. And I felt like he was upset to let people know that he canceled. I'm not even sure whether I mentioned that he canceled, but that it was canceled and that it had to be rescheduled. But either way, but I was surprised that he messaged me to say that it was that he saw that I posted up that it was canceled. And I did message him, and I told him that whenever you're able to do it, come on board. And I even reached out to ask, hey, how did your interview go? Blah blah blah. And I never heard from him. And then I think 3 days after our interview was supposed to be done, I realized in my heart that I was never going to hear from him again, and I felt hurt. And so I messaged him, and I said, I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of my channel, and I'm proud of the content that I put out there. Because I felt like like I'm being insulted that that I'm not like an experienced interviewer. It's very obvious I'm not an experienced interviewer. It's not my occupation. I'm a regular YouTuber. I put out content, and I decided for myself to interview, to go out, because see, in 2019, a fellow YouTuber was bad-mouthing, what's her name? I forget her name, but it'll come to me. But she's a very popular, well-established YouTuber, and she interviews whistleblowers and things like that. and she interviewed this man who wrote the book The Rings of Saturn. He's like in his 90s, and I think he recently passed away. And he mentions that he saw a photo of a spacecraft with very tall black-skinned aliens coming out, and he seemed very frightened and very excited about that. And oh yeah, her name is Kerry Cassidy. And I thought it was a good interview. But a black YouTuber on his own channel badmouths Kerry Cassidy because he wanted to know more information about black ETs. He used such profanity and pejorative terms, her being a female. I'm not going to say the words he used, but it's regarding her gender. And I thought he was off bases to talk about that, to say that to somebody. And that who is he to tell what an interviewer should ask or not ask? If you don't like an interview, just change the channel. But he does a video to criticize Kerry Cassidy. So I said to myself, I said, I don't like this. I don't like the passivity of some viewers, but they want to criticize other people's work. This is we're all seeking. And so if he is that critical, maybe he should have gone and contacted that man and asked him the question. But see, no, that wasn't the case. So I decided for myself, I'm not going to be another black YouTuber to potty mouth about something that upsets me. I mean, it's okay to be angry, but to use pejoratives against someone because you want more information. If you want more information, you go out and ask them yourself. So I wanted to be that type of person, to go out and ask a person directly on a subject. And because I had experienced things as a veteran, things that happened to me in the military, I was really wondering, hey, could any of this technology or stuff happen to me? And that's why I decided to reach out to Tony and this other female YouTuber who was in the SSP program. And to experience feeling like I'm not good enough. Everything was fine with the interview. He never criticized the interview. He never said anything negative about it. And so I wonder what his problem is for me to say that he was my first interview. So what? But for that to be the determinant, whether you're going to be interviewed by someone, I can see that let's say the first interview, before the first interview, and if I said, you be my first interviewer, and him to say, oh, okay, I'm not going to do you. I'm not going to have you interview me because you didn't interview before. Okay, I'd probably be hurt, but drop it. But I did interview him, and it's the longest interview, and it's different than a lot of the other interviews because I ask questions as it pertains to black people and some of the things. And I see that this genre, this is what I'm really getting at. Why? See, it's more than just him dropping out at the last minute. But it's just really showing, at least to me, how I feel, that it's really showing a picture about possibly the whole genre of the SSP, the Secret Space Program, Super Soldier Program, the whole thing. It's really having me really analyze, what is this really about? Is this reality, or is this just an egocentric, male-dominated genre? And when you're perceived as not being important, even though I had a lot of content, I have maybe one of the largest content out there in amongst people in this genre. I have maybe 1,500 or more videos on my channel. I'm not just a new kid on the block, and that's how it's making me feel. I was new to, I was only familiar with the genre for 2 years when Tony happily accepted my offer. I gave him a 4-hour platform to discuss. I'm upfront with him. I even said, look at my content, see that if you are still interested, because I want people to know who I am. Who I am is very important. I want people to know who I am and not a fake. And when he snubbed me, when he snubbed me, I feel that he snubbed me because of my honesty. I don't do this for a living. I don't do interviews for a living. I actually did one other interview, but it was a different topic. But I thought that, he was the first one of this type. And again, I've never spoken to him before. What you saw there in the interview that I did almost a little over 2 years now, was just then. I spoke to him 20 minutes before we went live, because we have to speak, because I was going to tell him, okay, I'm going to ask you certain these questions I typed up, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z, and just move on. So I feel that people over YouTube don't want honesty. They don't want real people. That's what I'm feeling like. You don't want real people. I'm sorry, my dog is snoring. Yeah, my little peanut. I feel that people want fake. People want the veneer of the mighty YouTuber, the person who experienced interviewer. I'm just a regular person. I'm a regular person. I'm not a millionaire. I live in a modest lifestyle. I had experiences that happened to me, and I wanted answers. And I didn't want to be rude to people, because it's like you're demanding certain things, like at a movie theater. Oh, I don't like the popcorn, and you want to throw it. You don't add anything to the content. You don't support my channel financially, but yet you're going to be so harsh on me. Some of the YouTubers, some of you are very beautiful, okay? Very beautiful YouTubers out there, and I commend you. You know who you are. But those who are rude, now it's also interesting about the video that I did with Tony, the type of comments I got were extremely harsh, most of them. And it's like, wow, why so harsh? I was very polite to Tony. Again, and I'm up front, and I said, this is I'm new at this, and I always feel that when you're upfront with people of who you are, um, this should be understandable. But the harshness, and I got a recent comment regarding an interview I did with Tony, and this person went on and on. It was very hostile. But they and I gently spoke to them, commented back. I opened it up with my friend, and I shared with them, I told them, I gave a response to their comment, and then they apologized, and they go on and on bragging about, and they even say, "Oh, I don't want to come across like I'm bragging, but I know a lot and this and that," and you know, I'm seeing another side of this. I'm seeing people who want to be entertained, and they want to believe that they are what they are. And then when I looked on that person's channel, I said, I'm going to see what type of content they have on their channel. They're real harsh on me and all this information they have, and if I want to interview them, and they'll teach me, they're a teacher. Real teachers teach. They have students and they have lessons. So I go and check out their channel. There's zero content they have. Zero content that they personally done for themselves. They do have a playlist of other people's work, but not them. And I gather what the person's race/ethnicity is, and it's horrible how someone, and I presume what they are through the type of content that they like to watch, what they are. And for them to be harsh on me like that, and other people who I think would be very compassionate to me, a black female, a black American female. And I'm gathering also with this. See, they don't want, I gather with this why they're so harsh, even though I'm upfront with them about I'm not a professional interviewer, I'm new at this channel, and I have questions because of the experience I went through, and to try to find answers. This wasn't enough. Why isn't enough? Well, I'm starting to think with this ego involved that now people don't want people to talk to them if they've never talked to anybody. Even though I have a very large content that I personally done, and you already done an interview, the longest one, so if you were very uncomfortable, if I wasn't professional enough for you, it wouldn't have lasted 4 hours. Hello? Yeah, I am a little irritated. I'm hurt right now. But I'm a big girl. I'll get out of it, But I just want to really share this because I feel that this is important regarding any genre out there. That see, people these days want to be entertained. People want to criticize you even though they don't support you. And people pretend to have knowledge on subjects or experiences, but when you look on their channel, they have nada up there. They have nothing. A teacher teaches. A teacher does not insult a fellow student. I am a student of the subject. I'm a newbie, and I present myself as such, that I am new at this. So for him to, this commenter, he commented just a couple of days ago on my video. So, about him being a teacher, and he likes to teach, but yet he has no students on his channel, and he didn't teach anything. He has no content. So I wrote him back. And I said, you know, it would be good that you put out, you know, where's your content? Are you going to put up videos about your experiences, because you say you experienced this SSP phenomenon, but you don't share it on your channel? So there's people who are hiding in the background. They want you to think that they have something. Now, if you was an experiencer, wouldn't you have that on your channel? But you don't. And so I gather that there may be a lack of sincerity. And when people like myself who are sincere and are truly seeking present themselves, and maybe I had a weakness showing, and people don't like to feel that someone has a weakness about them. It's like a lamb that has blood on them, and when a lion smells blood, they go attack. And I think that's what's happened to me. That a weakness that they perceive, but what they really should be perceiving is that my sincerity and willing to open up. This genre should really be about being open, being an open book about yourself. And I felt that I did not have the right to approach the two people who I approach on the genre without first exposing myself. I shared with them my story. I shared with them that I have a channel and that they could look at the channel to see what type of content I have and decide for themselves whether they want to be interviewed by me. And now to be snubbed by someone now who I understand will be getting a book out, and it seems like a good old boys network. And that if you are excellent, I told the person, I told Tony, that this is my channel. It pretty much caters to Black people, Black American people, and I want to ask him questions through a Black perspective, because I want to educate and expose my community to the subject of the secret space program, Super Soldier, because maybe some of us are going through that, but we don't even know it. And maybe that's why some of our behavior is such. You go into our Black neighborhoods and you see all this wild behavior. And I'm wondering whether we are being exposed to this, but we don't have an outlet and we don't know who to talk to. So my even approaching him was not for selfish reasons, but to help my Black community. And now it's like, okay, he does interviews with other people, and I'm happy that he did an interview with those two Black YouTubers. I'm happy that happened. I feel like, hey, maybe my coming out with my video is now opening up the boldness for us to approach them, experiences, and to ask for your community. Hey, is this happened to you? Well, what were your connections with other Blacks in the subject? Did you meet any other Black people? What happened? And you notice that this is going to be key. That you notice that when in the genre of the secret space super soldier phenomenon, that when you ask a simple question as it pertains to race, that all of them seem to want to run and hide, or there's a defensiveness, an edginess to them. And I'm speculating, based on their response and behavior, that maybe this is a genre that is a genre for the Good Old Boys Network, primarily white men, and they're games that discuss that's on the market about this genre, and I'm wondering whether they're learning about this genre through those games that is really promoted to men, to males. And then now you have some females that want to get into the want to discuss it. And you have some females that claim that they were part of this experience. And very few, just a few are in there. And many are European and white Americans. But you notice this is a big planet. And you have a lot of black people who are being kidnapped. But why don't you have any black people really discussing it? I only know of 2 people who are discussing things, at least with extraterrestrials. Not so much the secret space program, not the secret space, but the subject of aliens, or people, ETs. And it was just recently, I think it was earlier this week or last week, that a fellow YouTuber who's been on the genre of ETs and things like that, and she told her story about that when she went to communicate to the people of this genre, like, what do you call it? When you go on like in a chat room, like a discussion board. And when she came on to discuss her experiences, that they treated her harshly and they called her the N-word. And when she announced that earlier this week or last week, then it went, aha, that is the problem. They don't want black women, black people, and especially black women. Like, how dare we approach? Now, this person is a black woman, and she's been on YouTube she might have been on longer than me. She's been talking about these stuff for a long time. I'm just recently talking about this since 2018. Okay, so that's just 2 years. So you see, people, what it looks like is that it's a good old boys network, and especially black women. And it's reminding me of my time in the military. Yes, I'm a veteran. I served in the United States Navy. And they didn't like us there either. They didn't like us there. It's a disrespect that certain men have against us, the black female. Yet even though black people are being kidnapped, black people are acting crazy on the street, all these things are being done upon us. And I know that it's not by accident, it's by design. So when a YouTuber again announced that they called her the N-word because she joined in the conversation with of this secret space super soldier ET phenomenon. Why? It's because what they really feel about us, and it's a genre that is designed for their glory, the Good Old Boys Network, and is probably created by them, and maybe it really has no real content to it. And so my telling Tony that he was my first interview, and I haven't interviewed anybody since. I haven't reached out to anybody else right after that, because I started sensing, hey, is this really something that's going on, or is it all in their head? Is it all ego? I'm not a new kid on the block on YouTube and with my content. So what's happening? What's happening is disrespect for the women. You don't want us in there because, see, it's your glory. But it's not your truth. It's your glory, but it's not your truth. And that's what I'm perceiving. And when you get someone who's genuine like myself, who's willing to expose my heart, share my heart with others on YouTube and on the subject, that I was treated harshly and disrespected. And I'm really surprised about that because I'm always taught to treat the hurt, treat the child with respect, with care. I feel I treated this genre with care. And this is what I get. So like that YouTuber that announced that he no longer wants to put up content, maybe I should really evaluate too about certain things. I mean, I love putting up videos. It gives me an outlet, especially during this COVID. I want to stay connected, but it's just having me really reevaluate this seeking. I don't know whether there's real answers, but I know there's something that's going on, and that it's being revealed when I do these meditations that I used to do in the morning upon waking up. There's a window period between when you wake up and the dream world, and that I was able to tap onto stuff. And I think it's very telling. I don't understand what's going on, but something is going on, and it's something I think I would really like to explore more. And this hoax or this foolishness, I want the real. I want the real. I don't want the wannabes. I'm really am a seeker. I am scared. I am scared of the truth. But at least I'm real. So yeah, I'm not going to, I don't think I'll reach out to Tony and you know, I wrote to him several times already, and he didn't write back. So character is very important in all this. Character. When you don't have your character, you're nobody. I'd rather be a somebody of character than somebody who pretends and poo-poos on a fellow veteran. Okay? I'm surprised. I'm hurt. And I cared about you, Tony. I really did. And you still seem like a nice guy, but wow, when you did that, it really had me reevaluate this whole genre. And it's just a good old boys network. So you can go to conventions, make money. It's a money-making genre. And I don't want to be a part of that. So I thank you all for listening. And people out there, really analyze and ask yourself questions. Is this real? Or is it just a good old boys subject topic to make money? And you notice no one is able to prove anything about it. But we're supposed to believe them. But I can't be honest and say, you know, you were my first interview. Oh, I'm poo-pooed on. Yeah. So guys, take care. Enjoy. Be safe. And be genuine. Okay? signing out. Bye bye.